Excuse me. My name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but what the hell what the hell else are you going to do about it? I mean, truly, sitting around feeling sorry for yourself is just not a good strategy. I did that. It doesn't it doesn't do anything for you. So, tales of arachnophobia. The Alaskan adventures in Texas. Now I knew, of course, I'm not stupid. I knew Texas was going to be full of a lot of creepy crawlies, and I'm sorry to my Twitter people. A lot of you heard this last night, but I thought it was funny, so I'm telling it again. Um, when the other day, I'm staying with my friend Aggie, and we walked out of Aggie's house the other day, and there's this just thing on the wall, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Oh, that's a daddy long legs. It's like, oh my gosh, we don't ours in Alaska aren't that big. But supposedly they don't hurt you, right? But my comment was, I don't even want to squish that thing. It's just it was so fat. And they're like, oh, that would be so I am that girl. So I was sitting in here yesterday. I was talking to one of my colleagues back home because I'm still working my Alaska job. So I'm talking to one of my colleagues and I turn around and on the wall right above my bed, there's a big ass daddy long legs. I swear he had to be that big around. And the woman that I was talking to, she's very pretty. She's very feminine, but she likes to hunt. So she's a lot more tough than I am. She hunts and stuff. So I mean, a big spider wouldn't. I don't think it would phase her. But I was like, oh shit. I said, hang on. I got to put the phone down. I got to figure out how to deal with this. She's like, oh, for goodness sakes, just get a cup and a piece of paper. I was like, I don't think he's gonna fit in a cup, but I got a cup and a piece of paper, and he was a very cooperative little fella, well, big fella. So I took him outside, and it's like, okay, 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 crisis averted. Well, I went up to the main house. I'm staying in my friend's guest house. I went up to the main house and had dinner, and I came back down. There's a little bug in the floor. I didn't know what it was at first. I thought, oh God, another spider? Seriously? So I got a cup, I got a piece of paper, and I scooped it up, and I realized it was a little teeny tiny cricket. Now I don't mind crickets, but I don't want them in my space. I have another story about crickets. Maybe I'll tell that at the end. But I don't want it in my space, especially not where I'm going to be sleeping. So I took the little cricket outside. Well, I ended up back at the main house for a while. I came down, I came down to go to bed last night. I washed my face and everything, and I don't know why, but I looked up at the bathroom ceiling and there's a spider. And it wasn't a huge spider, but there's a little black spider. Yeah, he's probably about that big around. And he's on the ceiling. So I'm like, yeah, cup and the paper, cup and the paper ain't gonna help me in this situation. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? I know there's a broom because this has laminate flooring, so there's no vacuum down here. Because that's my go-to at home is vacuum bugs up. What the hell am I gonna do? Like, I know there's got to be a broom in the closet. Well, there was. So my plan was to knock him down, then scoop him up with the cup and the paper and take him outside. But it didn't work out that way. I didn't want to kill him because I didn't want to squish him on our ceiling because, ooh, then someone's got to clean it up. So I'm trying to knock him down. And instead, he jumps on the broom and he's on the top of the bristles. And I'm holding, you guys are going to laugh at me. I'm such a dork. I'm holding that broom straight out in front of me and I'm just tearing. Thank goodness this isn't that big of a place, but I'm running it as fast as I can. And I'm thinking, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, please don't jump. Please don't jump. And I'm watching him. I don't want to watch him because he's grossing me out and creeping me out. But I was watching him. Please don't come off the broom. Please don't come off the broom. Well, it was night in Texas. It's dark. I have my porch light on. And I'm sure those of you who live around a lot of insects know when you have the porch light on. So I open the door and I'm shaking the broom. I've got it way away from me. And I'm shaking the broom to get him off the bristles. And then all of a sudden I realized like the whole little pad outside the door is literally crawling with insects and spiders. In fact, I saw a daddy long legs and I seriously thought, I wonder if that's the same one I put outside earlier. So I fling this poor little spider down and I shut the door really quickly. I got to be honest, I'm not sure if I did the little guy any favors putting him out there. It might have been kinder to put him out of his misery because I felt like I just threw him to the lions because it was insanity out there. Well, so I come in and I'm like, oh God, oh God. Well, then I was paranoid. And for about the next 2 or 3 hours, I kept feeling like there was something crawling up my leg, and there never was, but I just could not get rid of the feeling. And, excuse me, so I'm finally getting calmed down and settled down, and I was doing some work, and I had my hair up in a bun. Well, one of my curls popped out, and of course, it just dangles down, and I can see it out of the corner of my eye. I thought it was a spider. I cannot believe it did not fall out of my chair, and I was in this chair exactly. I went jumped out of my skin. Oh my god! Oh, it's just my hair. I had the worst time sleeping last night. I kept peeling the covers back before I went to bed. I'd peel all the covers back. No, there's nothing in the bed. I shook out the pillows. No, there's nothing in the pillows. Then this morning, I shook out my towel. Because I have curly hair, I use a microfiber turban when my hair is wet. I made sure to shake out the turban really well because I was so afraid that I was going to have something in there and have it get in my hair. Well, I was just up at the main house. I walked down here to do this video, and as I'm walking down, the path goes under some pine trees. Well, a pine needle fell on my head. Everything sticks to this hair. Okay. So I'm trying to brush it out. I'm pretty sure it was just a pine needle, but I'm not entirely positive. So I ended up stopped and I'm just shaking my hair out, but I don't think it was anything. But yeah, it was really funny. And I didn't sleep very well last night because I kept thinking, oh shit, there's something in the bed with me. And which was what kept me awake my first night in here. And I didn't even see anything the first night. I'm very girly when it comes to bugs. So now the cricket story, which coincidentally also happened in Texas. When I was like 12, I was 11 or 12. My dad's folks had their 50th wedding anniversary, and it was in a little town called Granbury. And my cousin from Lubbock came, and me and her mom were sharing a hotel room down on the old historic town square. And it's this beautiful old historic building. That sun gun was so full of crickets. And I mean, full of crickets. I don't know how I managed to spend the night in there, but it was really funny. I hadn't seen it. She's a distant cousin. I hadn't seen her since that reunion, since the night of the crickets. Well, I saw her last summer. We brought my dad down after my mom passed. One of my brothers and I brought my dad down to visit family, and he wanted to go to Lubbock. So we went and saw her folks, and she came over. And it was one of the first things she said, do you remember? Yes, I remember the cricket night. So it's going to be very interesting to see how I adjust to this. But I bought one of those little salt guns so I can shoot bugs that are on the ceiling so that I can knock them down where I can deal with them better. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. I have not seen a snake outside yet. Although, I mean, I spent not a lot of time in Texas when I was young, but I spent a fair amount of time here because my grandparents lived here, and my parents amazingly would bring us to Texas every summer, which, Alaska, getting out of Alaska is still difficult, but getting out of Alaska with 5 kids in the 70s had to be one hell of an undertaking. And I'm really grateful that my parents did that. Of course, we didn't appreciate the sacrifice that it was at the time, but I'm vaguely familiar with all the creepy crawly things, but I don't want any of them in my space with me. Oh, and then I had a little lizard outside my door yesterday afternoon, and he slipped up. There's apparently a little gap with the trim on the front door to this, and I went to open the door, and he zipped up in there. And my first thought was, oh hell no, you can't, dude, you can't be in my space. But he wasn't, or at least if he is, I haven't found him. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting adjustment to winter in Texas. And I know from living in Alaska, when it starts getting cold, if you're cold, they're cold. They want to come inside. They cannot come inside. But I will say, I try not to kill spiders. I don't like them because, I'm very girly about it. And I have a lot of my friends like, oh, Courtney, get over it. But in my defense, I'm very sensitive to spider venom. And for some reason, I really don't know why I get bit a lot. And I always end up having to go to the doctor because I have a bad enough reaction. We don't even have really seriously venomous spiders in Alaska, but every time I get bit, I have to go in. So yeah, this is going to be a hell of an adjustment. But that being said, I was in a meeting today, and they were all talking about it being cold and snowy, and I couldn't help it. I'm just sitting here grinning like a little Cheshire cat. And we got to the round table part of the meeting, and I said, I'm really sorry, and you can all hate me if you want to, but it's 80 degrees here, and my windows are open, and the sun is shining, and it's a beautiful damn day. And one of them was really happy for me because she knows what my health issues are, and she has a lot of empathy. And the rest of them were just kind of like, screw you, which I deserved. But anyway, so there's my tales of arachnophobia. It was it was a hell of a night. It took me a long time to calm down enough to go to sleep. But and now I feel again like there's something crawling on me because I've been talking about it. By the way, if you guys are making when you guys make comments with this platform, I can't see them until I watch the replay. So hopefully nobody's saying anything ugly. But actually, I guess this will be the best time for you to say something ugly because I ain't gonna know it anyway. But I hope you'll have a great weekend. I will be back Monday. I don't have any damned idea what time because I've got to balance. I'm still working Alaskan hours. So I'm actually taking a break to do this, which is probably what I'm going to do because I am not a night person. It's dark out. I'm getting, it's bedtime. It's bedtime. Not quite. I mean, I realize it's still early, but it's time to wind down. I should be taking off my makeup and putting on pajamas, and that's why I don't do well in Alaska. 3 hours and 42 minutes is the winter solstice in Fairbanks. Tyler, Texas has 10 hours and 1 minute of daylight on winter solstice. And that 1 minute is enough for me to say that it's more than 10 hours of daylight. I'm looking forward to that. I gotta say, finding out it snowed, I'll deal with the creepy crawlies. Anyway, I'm babbling. Y'all have a great one, and I will be back sometime Monday. I'm not really sure when. It'll be a surprise.